Pisces. So this is going to be your February reading. Here's your card here. So obviously whenever I was shuffling, I wanted to see what this reading was going to be about and what your February is going to be surrounding. And we got Virgo. So if you have any special Virgos in your life, whether it's love related, family related, children, whatever, workspaces, I feel like it's about them, or this is going to be about them, your relationship with them. But if not, then this is about details of the things that may need to be fixed. It's about organization. It's about really getting to the bottom of things and figuring out what went wrong and how can we fix it. And this is also about, you know, more of the domestic and practicality of your life, okay? So let's go ahead and get right into it and see what's going on, okay? There we go. First card out. Okay, so we're starting out with the Seven of Pentacles. So this is dealing with your day-to-day routine, okay? Issues with that are coming about. I don't think they're terrible, but you may be feeling like you aren't financially stable. The King of Pentacles also represents, you know, all the earth signs. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Being that this is Pisces reading, I do want to say that, you know, with the Virgo being here as the subject matter, it could be saying that the Virgo is popping up in your life, or it could just be saying that the structure of how you make your money needs to be worked on, okay? How you make your money. There may be some things that you're overlooking or things that you're not really paying attention to that you need to be paying attention to because it's prohibiting maybe what you want or how you get exactly what you want when it comes to your finances, okay? So let's go ahead and move on to their second card. We have the Lovers card. So this could be a Gemini that you aren't getting along with, but I do think it's more about your love life. Let's go ahead and see why it's coming up in the situation, Pisces. So you need to prioritize the things that are happening in your love life, whether it's being in the relationship or not, or maybe it's juggling, having a love life and a work life. It seems as though the way things are going, they're not in alignment with what you need to be focused on. This could also be a love situation with an Aquarius or a past love relationship that just didn't work out. It just wasn't fitting for your soul. And there was lots of signs that you needed to see, and it definitely was a toxic situation. And ego could have been very much involved in that situation. And it caused it to be where you weren't appreciating the things that were there. Maybe you just couldn't. I also feel like you were being very naive in that situation, or it could have involved an Aries as well. An Aries is popping up, Capricorn, and then also an Aquarius. So for whichever Pisces you are dealing with that situation, it was a situation that just needed to be dealt with, prioritized. And I think you were just kind of tired of fighting it. I think you were tired of trying to, you know, have control over that emotional part of your life because it was just, it's too much. It's really, really hard. Moving on, we have the Three of Pentacles. So like I was saying, it seems as though things were just not really working out. Things were not working smoothly. People were stepping on each other's toes. And there were just situations where it could have been just better avoided than trying to fix it because it just wasn't working out. So let's see what isn't working out smoothly for you. What part of your life? Okay, so we have the Three of Cups. So it just seems as though emotionally things were not working out. You could have been in a situation where there was a third party situation, but I don't really feel that. I feel like it's more so of a situation where you wanted to be having more fun. You wanted more out of your life. You maybe felt like you were working too much and it was really prohibiting, you know, the things happening. It could have even been a friendship that just it's not working how it used to. And so you have to be a little bit more honest about that, you know, and really look at that's what the problem is, you know, and kind of take a little bit more authority and control over your life. Again, an Aries is popping up here. So moving on to the middle of your February, Pisces. Okay, so in the middle of your February, it looks like you're moving away from something. You're definitely walking away from something that's monumental for you. It could have been something that wasn't allowing you to expand in your life. And you know exactly what this is about. And it's because things were revealed and you were able to see things in a different light. And I think you felt like, okay, I'm ready to transition. I'm ready to move forward in my life. This could also be dealing with a Cancer. Definitely a Cancer is popping up here. But I feel like it's just more about the changes in your life emotionally that you were ready to make. I think you were ready to see some better changes. And I think you finally took the time to move on from it, for sure. And it's something that you probably needed a lot of help with, trying to determine what to do next. But for some reason, I feel like it just clicked one day and you finally understand what you needed to do, which is walk away. 7 of Cups here showing up. So you have lots of options now. Maybe now that you walked away from a situation, if it was a love situation, maybe you have lots of options, or you're trying to figure out what's next. What do I do next? So let's see what solution can be had for that. So it seems as though you aren't at the end of your cycle when it comes to this emotional thing. You still, even though you've walked away, even though you feel a little overwhelmed, there's still things that need to be dealt with. There's still things that are loose ties are still there. So you need to either cut them, mend them together. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot of learning that has to be done, because you, at this point, you're feeling like there's just no grounding. There's no foundation. You really just can't figure out what's up and what's down. We have the King of Swords here in reverse. So definitely some manipulation, or just you're not able to see the bigger picture. If this is a person, then it is a not an earth sign, an air sign, which is Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. But I feel like it's more about you not being able to be logical and calculate the movements that you need to make. So it's not necessarily a person. It could be. But I think that if there is a person coming in, because you're not stable right now, this person is a manipulator, and they're telling you things that you don't necessarily need to follow. This also could just be a moment where you have to go through these things so that you could be a little bit more mature and kind of graduate into something better for yourself. And it'll be situations that are hard to have, conversations that are hard to have, but once they are dealt with, you'll be a lot more stronger. But it will kind of tear you down for a little bit. It will make you feel like you're being needy, or you may not feel confident as a water sign. You could just be feeling very wonky. But at the end of the day, once it's all handled, you'll feel that peace, and you'll feel a lot more healthier and secure within whatever it is that you were trying to figure out in the first place. But you do have to go through it, because the cycle is not done just yet. We move to the Tower card in reverse. So this is telling me that there is something that definitely happened that you didn't have any knowledge that it was going to happen. So let's see what this is in regards to. So it's something that dealt with victory, and then also something you probably didn't put much effort into it, but it backfired in some type of way. It could have been not an embarrassing moment, but something where at work maybe you had to be vindicated. Maybe you did something that was built on pride. Let's see what else I can get on it. Maybe you stood up for yourself, but there's a karmic change that was involved with that. And with that karmic change, you still have to make sure that you're mentally stable. So even if you are in the winning circle of that situation, or the winning outcome, maybe you feel guilty about something, or maybe you're just karmically you feel bad about it. Moving on to the end of February. So at the end of February, we do have the Two of Cups here. So it seems like there's some harmonious energy emotionally that's coming about. Even though I feel like you still aren't trusting of this love, I feel like you are reunited with some type of love, but there's still some trust issues in the way. But at the same time, I feel like you're very secure with this, and I feel like you're able to focus more on being a little bit more secure, but you still have some things trust-wise that need to be fixed, okay? And so you're still, again, you're still learning. You're still in this process of being the student when it comes to this love stuff. And Virgo is all about intelligence and communication. So you're just in this phase where you're getting all of this communication, you're getting all of this learning, but it's about how you apply it. And I do see that, you know, there's some movement that starts to happen. So things may start quickening up at the end of February in regards to your love life, where it's like boom, 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 boom. But also in your work life. I feel like you may have more communications with your finances and understanding how things are working better. And so then you'll be a little bit more prepared to make movements, but you still are at a point where you're not necessarily ready to make the changes. You're not ready to stand on your own 2 feet just yet. Whether it's letting that person go, or just feeling like you're passionate about this person, even though you know that they don't really fit in your life anymore. But then that comes to you having to look within yourself and really have like a self-to-self talk, okay? And so you can plan out what you're going to do and what you're going to get rid of. And most likely it's things that you needed to let go of already, because it's a situation in a relationship that isn't evenly distributed. And so here's your Pisces card here, but it's upright. It's in reverse. I'm sorry, it's in reverse. So it's saying that it's time for you to make a decision now because you've seen how things played out. And here goes this Virgo card. So it could be dealing with that Virgo, or it's saying you have the wisdom now. You understand what happened. So now you have to do something about it, and bring that inner light forward, that wisdom that you've obtained. You now have to bring it forward. We move to the Knight of Pentacles here. So it seems as though you're moving away from something, but it's because you are seeing that there is more success when you're away from it. You're seeing that something isn't serving you. And I think that's what that whole Pisces, the Hangman in reverse was trying to say. It's like, now you know how things have played out. You've tried it again. It didn't really work. And so now it's time for you to use that inner wisdom that you have obtained and kind of move away from it. Any more details that I can get on that? Yeah, so it's like now you're at a point where you have to make action. The only thing that I can say about that is it could go either way. It really just depends on how it's going to play out in your life, depending on how things are set up, depending on how the stars are aligned for your chart, all of those things. It's like you are making movements now, but it could go up or down. It's just a matter of how the cards play out in your life. But this is something that you've been dealing with, and it's things that have been racing in your mind. But I think you're just tired of waiting. You're tired of waiting, and so that could backfire, but it could also be that fuel that you needed to make big changes, right? And it's because you're starting to feel uncomfortable. You're not as happy about the way that things are going, and you feel like you aren't making any movements. And for some of you, you could feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It could also mean that you have an Aquarius in your life that you're trying to make amends with, but it's just not working. But I do feel like balance will be restored, but it takes a lot of turmoil for you to feel that. Four of Cups in reverse. This is how we're ending off your February. So you definitely are starting to feel a lot more optimistic and maybe start to have a little bit more information coming to you on what you should do, and you're not feeling as stuck. I feel like there's movement that will be made. Let's see in what way will we have a change of emotional feelings. What are we changing? So family. Maybe you're focused more on your family. Maybe you feel like your family is worth fighting for. I also feel like financially things are starting to fall a little bit more into place, so you can really pay attention to what needs to be paid attention to. You are still at a point where you're not necessarily clear on how to be the leader of the situation, but I do feel like it's because you still haven't tapped into yourself. Because there's a situation where you're not going into your brain. It's almost like you're afraid to. Excuse me. But it seems like you're getting closer to it. It's just you're still having these moments of immaturity. You're still not being mature enough to look into your head and really figure out what's going on. It's like you're still just setting it to the side. And so this is why this disappointment is still there and you can't get past it. So you have to make the decision. Will I go to that dark space and really figure out what's wrong or not? And that's going to be up to you. And it's going to continue into March depending on how it plays out in your life. So this is a really, really good reading. I feel like February is going to be really mixy for you, but at the same time I feel like it's going to be kind of back and forth, kind of wish-washy. So it's all about what you're receiving and really try to figure out what's going on, what's going wrong, so you can figure out how to fix it. If you need any extra help to figure out how to maneuver through the things that are happening and see what energies are around you or what you should do in your love life, career, whatever it is, at lovefamilio@gmail.com. And